A flag is a value that can be shown or kept behind the scenes to run all kinds of game logic. It can act as a score, faction, a key, crafting material, or anything else you can imagine. When you combine it with a flag check, it is one of the most basic building blocks of programming your own game. Flag nodes themselves are not visible on the campaign table. As you can see, the flag didn't show up between step 1 and step 2. However, it would be processed as soon as I select step 2. Let's create a new flag by clicking the Edit Flags button. Type in a name and hit the plus button. You can set the flag's visibility to determine whether the player will see it or not during the campaign. Hidden flags are good for running logic that you don't need to bother the player with, but if you're creating something like crafting material or even faction, you might want to show it. Once it's set to visible, you can set an image for it. You can set a description. A name override is there in case you want to make sure that it's a more friendly name to the player, but faction is good for now. And the category is there in case you want to organize multiple flags into different categories like crafting, resources, etc. And very briefly, I just want to talk about the hidden override here. That's only there in case you're importing somebody else's work or a pre-made subgraph, which will be covered in another video. They may come with other flags that have different settings that you don't want, so you can actually override them there. Now that we've created our flag, we can select it from the flag list. We can add or subtract to the value very easily by just sliding this bar or entering the number. We can set its value as well, in case we want it to just be this value no matter what when it's encountered. Regardless of whether you're setting the value or adding to the value, you can also use a range. This range can add a bit of randomization to your flag setting. The variable setting lets you adjust the value of this flag based on the value of another flag. So in this case, I'm setting the value of faction to whatever the value held in my flag currently would be. I can set a multiplier for this. So we can set it to 200% of my flag or 50% of my flag, so on. And you can set an offset. So it would be 50% of my flag plus 10. Flags come in two main types. There's the standard, which is erased every time you end a run. In other words, this is a flag that you would only want to keep track of during the single run of the campaign. Once the campaign is over, that flag's value is erased. And there's persisted, which are held after a run, and even across or between campaigns within the same game. They're displayed under the game items portion of the flag menu. As you can see, here is my persisted flag, and here is my in-run flag. You can set the persisted flag to visible, just like you can set the standard flags to visible. If they are not visible and are still set to hidden, they will not appear in this menu. Other than that, these flags work pretty much the same way. You can even set one by the other. If you haven't watched the flag check video, I recommend watching that one next so you know how to make use of your flags. And before we finish, let's look at how to display the flag's value in text. The flag's value can be referenced simply by calling its name. You'll have to put it in curly braces and precede it by F if you're just trying to display the current value. If you're trying to display the value as it's coming into the branch, you'll have to use FN for new. If you want to display just the change, it's FC for change. And remember that you can also append the changes to the description of a node by just clicking on this Add Flag Changes to Description and setting it to change or change and new total. Here, what I'm doing is showing the new value of the flag as I'm entering this node and the change. Again, it's FN for new, FC for change, and then the colon name of the flag. Since I've already set the value here, I just need to do F for flag, colon, and the name of the flag in curly braces. Let's take a look at how that actually appears on the campaign table. So since I was setting it to a range, it turns out that this time between 1 and 5, it's 2. The flag value is 2, and I can see that the change is plus 2. And now the flag value is 2. Also displayed here.